Hello, Playdate. This is Don.
This is Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
This week we are covering Playdate news.
Recent indie releases.
And Voltroning together like the RGB of your Playdate monochromatic monitor.
Thank you for listening. Let's get started.
Let's get started indeed.
Yeah, first up, we got a bunch of news, right?
Yeah, we do, because no corrections aside from my intro. I guess I didn't think that one through.
It just, I had to approach it from a different angle.
I'll hope everyone else does too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and with that, why don't we boop into the news and notes for today, and we'll start with a little bit of Panic Playdate info. Who's going to be at Fan Expo in Portland in a couple weeks, January 24th through the 26th of 2025. There's so many 20s for me to keep track of there. My apologies. And we've got a linky poo if you want to hit that in the show notes of today's episode. But man, seems like every time there's a Portland to do, Panic is showing up in force. So if any of y'all are heading out there, give us a little report. Shoot us a line, send us an email, chime in on our Discord, take some pictures. We'd love to see what's going on in Panic Land at Fan Expo Portland.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Fan Expo, but it looks like they have it all over the place, like a pop culture thing, like Comic-Con, I guess. So
I think
cool.
I've heard that as marketed as a comic convention, but maybe that's just because I'm a comics guy and they're marketing toward me. Maybe it's probably more of a pop culture con, which is really what so many comic conventions are turning into these days. Not that I'm salty, but they'll be there on January 24th through 26th. That's cool.
Cool.
Also, congrats to Lucas Pope. Mars After Midnight was named runner-up for the best handheld game by Hardcore Gamer. I think that's how you say it. And it was also nominated for best hidden gem by the New York Game Awards. Are you guys familiar with either of these awards? I'm not, but it's cool that this is happening.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a good shout out. Looking at the handheld games, I mean, Zenless Zone Zero won, and that's a pretty big game. It's right up there with Pokemon and stuff, Cozy Grove. So yeah, good company.
So, handheld games, does that mean every single Switch game is
No,
eligible for handheld gems?
It's mobile games and also Mars After Midnight.
Mobile and Mars. Okay, good. Okay, well, cruising on down the line of the news and notes, we've also got, those Cotton Bureau shirts. They keep on coming. We've got some new Playdate shirts. This time, it's just the plain old Playdate logo. So if that's what you're interested in, you can get that in a black shirt with yellow print, a heather gray shirt with black print, or a yellow shirt with black print. It seems like there's really, really one choice. Right? I mean, it's got to be yellow. Yeah? No?
I would go yellow. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Yeah.
You gotta. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Okay. Glad we're in agreement on that. No arguments there, which means we move on to the next news and note, which is
that the first time in history
that we've agreed?
Playdate podcast history? Yeah.
Possibly.
We have podcast quorum. All right. With that said, the next news and note is that guys, are you ready for this? There's some exciting catalog news. I know we hit catalog a little later on in the episode, but I got so excited I put it in the news and notes. Catalog frequency, the frequency of release, is increasing to weekly, at least for a little bit. So starting today, we are recording on January 14th, 2024, and also in a week on the 21st and the 28th. And February 4th and the 11th. All of those are going to be release days for catalog games. So we are about to have a glut of catalog Playdate games for our newest year we are experiencing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. More games. Good release slate today. We'll go over here in a few minutes. But I know I've seen a lot of people mentioning that they have games upcoming and release dates and whatnot on social media. So it's a packed slate already.
Yeah. Must be a bunch of them if they're up in the frequency that much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe all these, teases on these directs are coming good in the new year. That's exciting. All right. Hey, have you guys heard about the uncranked Playdate Atelier?
Yeah, I watched this the other day, the little teaser about it
Yeah,
or
looked real
announcement.
cool. So, in case you haven't heard, this is a show date, a play show, a play case, a showcase. This is a showcase of in progress games for the play date. So, Zanya was very specific that this is not replacing the play date direct. That's still happening, but there's going to be like a little more frequent update. And if you are a dev working on a game and you want to share your progress and where you're at and get that hype train rolling, you be a part of the uncranked Playdate Atelier. Thoughts and feelings. I'm awaiting.
I think I forget how many she said, something like 2 to 4 or 2 to 6 games, just in progress stuff. But yeah, a little teaser for upcoming stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I would
cool.
think that if you're a developer, any additional promotion is good.
Hmm.
So that's nice to have another avenue. And in addition to that, I feel like it's been a minute since we've heard from Squid God Dev. And I think I know why, because he just released a crazy video called The Complete Beginner's Guide to Playdate Game Development. This is almost 40 minutes long, and it's very nicely time-stamped. There's going to be a link to it in the show notes. As you know, this is a YouTube video, and of what I watched of it, it sounds great. I look forward to watching the whole thing. But man, a 40-minute educational video, I can only imagine that took a ton of time to put together. So Squid God Dev, thank you for making that happen. Even getting recognized by Panic. It was on their socials. And oh, P.S. by the way, speaking of socials, Don, I listened to your concerns, and if you notice today, all the links are
Thank
blue ski
you.
links.
I noticed that. Thank you so much. It
Okay,
saves me a
you
lot of
got it.
time. I really
I'm
appreciate that.
listening to you. I value your opinion and your feelings. Um, so yeah, are you guys gonna watch this video and make all the Playdate games?
Well, I wanted to say that Squid God is a wealth of information on game
Amen.
development, not only this video, but all of his videos. So uh, don't just stop there. Keep digging. And he makes great games too. So check out his catalog as well.
Yeah. I think the beginning of the video boasted 9 games under his belt so far. That's a bunch of games on this platform. Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Speaking of news, there's another one. You guys, did you hear this? London's Big Ben, like the actual big old clock that we know and love, uh, the Big Ben clock mechanics use a playdate to ensure the monument's accuracy. Did you know
Hmm.
this? Did you see this video? They were
Yeah, well, I wonder how
video
that happened.
they
Go
were
ahead, Nick.
filming them, getting things ready down to the millisecond for New Year's Eve, making sure everything's right and making sure that the pendulum is weighted appropriately by setting coins on top of it and tiny weights and nuts and bolts and things. I thought it would be a different system of measurement than that. But anyhow, when they're up there in the clock tower, bust out the play date for the clock. What?
Yeah, very weird, very unexpected. But I guess that's how it goes. I mean, a lot of retailers use very old technology. Why not a very old technology using something very new? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, very fun. Obviously, that young sprout clock mechanic is a fine, fine nerd. Knows about the clockings and the fact that Playdate is amazing. So very cool little Easter egg there. Awesome.
I'm
Uh,
curious what exactly they're measuring with the Playdate. I'm still not certain.
Clockamication.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you, Ryan.
I'm here for you. Anything else you need to know?
Um, this clockification, how frequently does it need to be remeasured?
The clockamication frequency is approximately every New Year's and needs to go off right at midnight and coincide with the fireworks. That's what I got from the video. Anything
Okay.
else I can help you with today?
What was the application that they were using to measure?
To clockamicate?
Hmm.
I think they just
That's
pressed
what
the
I meant.
top Playdate button and then the clock appeared. So
No,
the Playdate application.
no. Krista mentioned it. Krista Mergen mentioned it. I don't have it in front of me, but I think she called out like what app it was.
Is
I
that
hope I'm
right?
not putting words in her mouth, but yeah, somebody did.
Well, whatever words you're
They
using are better
figured
than the
out what it
ones coming out
was.
of my mouth. So that's just fine.
There isn't
I
nobody like there was it wasn't an official like, oh, this is what we're using, but somebody noticed the font matched the location of some other app and
Mm,
it matched.
I
very cool.
have done work on clocks of different sizes, and so not anything obviously as large as that, but I'm just very curious what how the uh, offsets that would be generated by the Playdate would be offset um, in order to use it as a super accurate time source. But anyway,
I don't know.
Lots of
interesting.
lots of questions that I'm happy to
It's
answer
very portable
inaccurately.
We need to
and
send
Um,
cranky.
George over there and have him interview him from Fat Nose Games.
There you go.
totally. Yeah. Yeah. We got a bunch of Brits listening to the show and
That's true.
in
Get
the
Dino over
Playdate
there.
community.
Yeah.
Uh Dino's over there too. Man,
Yeah, I think
Dino,
so.
waltz over to that big old Ben and see what's going on. Anyway, we
Who
got our
must know
folks on
more?
the ground. Excellent. So it's probably enough talk about Big Ben, but I think there was a Donathan news item. Is that who
Yeah.
posted this one in here? Tell
Yeah,
me about this one, Don.
I noticed on social media that the Playdate comes in a new box. Like these new shipments, the box is no longer the thin rectangular box. It's now a kind of square squat box, the actual packaging. And so I've got pictures in the show notes of the front and back, but on the back of it, it has screenshots from a number of games, and that includes some indies. So it's got Resonant Tail and a joke worth 99 cents and Root
Root
Bear.
Bear. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it looks like Crankin's Travel Adventure. What is that? Not Mahjong. What is that?
Yeah.
We
Mahjong.
reviewed it.
Sparrow Solitaire.
Sparrow Solitaire. That's it.
And
Um,
I think that might be Island.
Mars After Midnight, bottom right. What's that top right? Is that Island?
Um, it's it's
Oh,
like
that's like,
MDMA or something like that, I think.
huh? Some sort of isometric-y game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Very cool.
So here's a question as somebody who has to create custom packaging for various types of products. Do you think this change was necessitated by shipping damage, trying to mitigate shipping damage, or do you think it was
Mm,
necessitated by trying to reduce space on shelving?
mm,
My guess would be B would be more of a concern because it looks like the packaging is about half the size.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine that foamed up original package had much damage going on. It seemed like that was a really fantastic system of packaging. Mine was
Yeah,
never
I
damaged.
I would agree, but the one weakness is that it's weighted on one side because the Playdate is on one side, and then you have a cable on the other.
mhm.
So
Mhm.
if somebody was really interested in throwing it down the road, the Playdate may not survive that journey. But that may not be the case in a more central uh,
Centered
center
weight.
of gravity. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just to play the actually guy, I'm
go
wondering,
for it.
offset weighted or not, if chucking it down the road would really
It's
make
pretty
Well,
much of a
light. I
difference
don't know.
how
in the survival
how strong
rates.
is the tape holding that top
All right.
portion of the box to the
This
bottom?
is where you come for the breaking news. Anyway, I have a little wrinkle in this news item, and the wrinkle is that short time listeners of the show will know that I just received my new Playdate last month, and mine was in a rectangular box, a very
I
original
would
looking rectangular box.
I would say,
So
Ryan, you're old news. Sorry.
okay, fine, fine. Well, then I'm done with news and
Old
notes.
news, old Playdate. Oh, you probably
That's
got
right.
a old stock or refurbished or something like that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I like my rectangular box. Anyhow,
The
that
rectangular
that
box is
really,
cool, yeah.
yeah.
It is.
But I really am truly done with the news and notes. That was it.
Okay. Fair enough. I
We
do
don't
like
know
that
what's a
now that
joke
there's
anymore.
now there's screenshots on the package, whereas before I don't think there were, right, Ryan?
No, nope.
Nope,
Just a bunch of words,
just
pesky old
text.
words back there.
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
read them to you in a dramatic
Uh
reading?
no, we're good.
I didn't think so. All right. Shall I boop us into the indie inventory?
Sure.
You bitty respectful boop. Indie inventory coming up right now.
I
Don,
don't
what'd you
I
find
don't
for
think
us?
I don't think there were any destination play dates. I looked the other day. So there weren't a whole lot of indie inventory. A lot of them were just work in progress and very early games. So not quite worth mentioning just yet, but we do have the Book Collector Master Edition by Alifala for $2 right now. This is a game about a book and zombies. It has a day-night cycle. Use a crank to refill your health. I don't know. Looks kind of cool. There is
Hmm.
not a whole lot of information about it, and I have not played it yet. So got some first-person areas and some top-down areas. Looks like some love was put into it though, so I am interested in checking it out soon. It does have a
Yeah,
trailer if you want to check that out.
very cool.
Yeah.
Fun looking pulpy game. While we are on the subject of speaking into a microphone, who's bling blonging over there? I keep hearing a bling blong.
That is
That's Nick.
that's Nick, yeah.
All right.
He's popular. So it's usually $4. It's currently 280, but it's part of a bundle. You can get every game that
What?
the dev has made. Zezbin, I guess, is the dev, for $5. Such a deal.
Zounds. What? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that is. A lot of them are not Playdate games. I think only one or two are Playdate games. But if you like PC games, go
Hmm.
to it.
Looks like he's made a Game Boy game or two as well. Three. What?
Mm-hmm. Get in there,
Neo.
Ryan.
Huh. $5 for all this?
Mm-hmm.
Gracious.
And then next up is Artie Clocks by Anaphyox. I hope I'm saying that right.
Hey,
And
maybe you, Artie Clocks, could be in Big Ben next.
it's maybe this is what they were using, an early version of this.
I
Uh,
didn't see the Krista Mergen confirmation, so one of you needs to let me know what that was.
so this is when this was originally designed for the stereo dock, which is still probably not coming. But if you want to use your Playdate as a clock, which is what this dev primarily uses their Playdate for right now, it has over 30 unique pieces of art, a customizable display, and color inversion technology if you want
Technology, awesome.
better visibility.
I am really enjoying these GIFs with the tessellating vector wackiness going on behind the clock here. I'm mesmerized. Loving it.
Hmm.
Yes.
So pretty cool. I like these little toys that people have come up with. And so that's Artie Fox. And it is normally $6, currently on sale for 4.98.
17% off. Nice.
Such a deal. And then today was a catalog drop. I did not throw it in the show notes, but if we can hop over to the page.
Let's do it.
Tenebra by Haplo Games, $5 right now. We mentioned this one. It was on itch a while back, but now
Hmm.
it's hitting catalog. It's it's the one where you walk around with the flashlight and make your way through mazes and whatnot,
Hmm.
Right.
illuminating things. I think there was a game that Nick said it was similar to, but I don't remember. Luigi's Mansion version of Nintendo Land, I think is what we
Haunted
were.
house on the 2600. But yes.
Okay, that too, I think is what we were talking about. Uh,
Yeah.
Next up is Jump Truck by Tabletop Games. It is currently $8. This one is a 3D driving game,
Oh boy.
but you do stunts in your truck.
What?
It is a
Oh,
jumping truck game.
stunt race
This
effects.
this This looks
Yeah.
like a cross between Off-Road and Mario Kart Rainbow Road. This looks amazing.
It's got 24 achievements to discover, 7 unique levels, and a rocking original soundtrack.
Oh, wow. This this looks really great.
So I'm on a little bit of a freeze right now, but when I'm off, I am definitely picking this up. This is completely up
Mm,
my alley. This looks
neat.
amazing.
I can see why.
Yeah, you will hear more about Jump Truck. Next up is Grid Glyphs by Matt Hartfield. This is a nonogram style puzzle game for
Hear that,
$4,
Ryan?
also known as a Picross, a
I was
Gridler, a
gonna ask, is
Pick-a-Pix.
this Picrossy?
I think we mentioned this one when it hit itch because I
All
remember
right.
Gridlers coming up.
We got our Picross mentioned in this episode. You
Yeah,
succeeded.
yeah, this one looks pretty fun.
All right.
Gosh, that is a tiny display, but I don't know. It does look really nice. So anyway, give that one a look. Pocket BM. I know we talked about this one, but it is now Pocket Beat Maker on the catalog store. Usually it's $8, currently $6 by Coors Media. 16-track beat maker for Playdate. So you can make all kinds of different you can generate music in your pocket with the Playdate. And it's created with a JSON file. It's very easy to load and play.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Can you export your sound that you
Yeah, it
make?
says for game devs, Pocket BM can be used to make background music for your game projects.
Ooh,
So that's pretty cool. And
interesting.
there's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of links on the catalog page for how to make custom samples and open source players and different things like that. So
Huh. I
some
wonder
tutorials.
I wonder what all it will allow you to export, like if you can just toss out an MP3 or something, or if it's or what. Hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe we can make some new intro music. Not that we need it, but
It sounds like Ryan is challenging himself to make some
yours
new.
is so iconic, Don. I like your intro music.
I'm cool with refreshing it at any time. Oh, props to Ryan actually wrote the Old Lang Syne intro that I think played on our last episode. So thank you for
Oh, I
that.
don't know if I'd say wrote, but
Didn't
copied
compose,
in
but
copied in what
he
is it?
played it
Catalog
on
BM?
it was Boogie Loops.
Boogie Loops.
He played it on Boogie Loops a while back.
Yes. Yep.
I don't
Cool.
know how to say this not this last one. A AOUI? AOUI. Maybe that's it. This is a
I'll go with that.
$2. It says it's like Wordles, but with only vowels. So I think it's basically Mastermind. Mastermind, but with vowels.
Huh.
Interesting.
72 million combinations of vowels are available. So you can have a good time trying to figure out what word of only vowels have been made on AOUI for $2. Looks interesting.
You did a
Anyway,
It
better job
does.
than I could have done. Good work. Um,
fantastic. That's the wrap up for the catalog.
well, not quite because
Oh,
we have not hit those on sale games because we haven't said the title enough. Pocket BM is 25% off. Crank Venture Capitalist is only $2, 33% off. We've got Crank Casino, IFO, and the Keeper. The Keeper is 66% off for only $1. If somebody listening to this show has not played The Keeper, please do yourself a favor, plunk down one single solitary US dollar and enjoy the game of your life. It was awfully near the top of my list, and I think maybe on a list or two of yours too. Anyhow, um, go get that Keeper. That's a heck of a game.
lots of great games here. So
Indeed.
check them out.
But only one named Keeper for $1. So that brings us to Biddy Boop, our pick of the week, which this time is from our favorite Nicholas, Mr. Baldridge.
Well, thank you. I didn't realize that was your favorite. Um, so the pick this time is called The Boss's Son, and it's by Meta Arcade. Uh, this is a really short, bite-sized game, which is perfect to slot in uh, between anything. It is very, very fast. Um, the premise of the game is that you receive a phone call in the beginning, uh, and you, as the boss's son, are tasked with syncing the boss's company if you know what's good for you. So you are faced with a number of decisions. You're in a boardroom meeting and you're faced with a number of decisions as regard product quality or uh, marketing, those types of things. And you're supposed to make terrible decisions that sink the company. But you're presented with three options for each decision. And as you make decisions, if you choose correctly, as you've been threatened, uh, employees at the company will disagree with you and they will be ejected bodily from the premise by your father, the boss. Um, so that's the basic premise of the game. Um, what did you all think of this game, Ryan?
Shall I start?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Okay. Um, yeah, I thought the humor in this game was really fantastic. All the way through, when you've got these multiple choices, the choices that you're reading through, I think I laughed out loud at every single one of the. You've got like six choices, six ways to sink the company, and every single one of them has three choices. And going through every single one of those six options, six conundrums the company is facing, I really chortled at this game, which I think is the main crux of this whole thing. It is very short, and if I'm not mistaken, there are two outcomes to the game. You can either do the thing or not do the thing. Consequently, I found it very short, which caused me to message Nick between podcasts and say, "Hey, did I get it all? Am I missing something?" Because it was quite short, enjoyable, but very short. Um, the artwork is very rudimentary, but I'd say in a an appropriately charming way. It sort of looks like it was either finger painted on a screen or like used some stock circle and line templates. But this rudimentary art style really fits the fun, quirky humor of the game, I thought. So I really enjoyed my time with this one, and you know, living the busy dad life that we do, I appreciate a short game here and there. So I dug it. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think that there's any sound. Um, so I
correct.
kind of missed some effects or a soundtrack or something. But aside from that, the humor of the game really carried it. Don, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it was made for a game jam, and so they must have cranked it out pretty quick. But yeah, I like these short little charming games, and if anything, it was a little short. But what's there is quality, and I thought that the decisions you make were pretty clever and funny, and I like the humor and the artwork fit perfectly. I like the abs on the outside of the suit and whatnot. Like little touches like that were pretty good. Um, the crank integration was sufficient to to get me going, and I like that it had more than one ending. It wasn't just one and done. I did try to fudge it, like I did three good, three bad, to try and get a third ending,
Mhm.
and there is not a third ending. It's just the two. So
Okay.
heads up. But I don't know. It's a good dad. I mean, the boss is with you. He's ride or die. So it's one of those charming. I was just complaining, or not complaining, but I was mentioning last week about how the early life cycle of the Playdate had a bunch of short little charming games like this. People kind of just wanted to tell a story and check out the Playdate and try programming something. And this felt kind of similar to that, where we had like these I think hot shower was one of them. Um, was that the name of it? Do you remember? Anyway,
I was just gonna ask you about that one. What was hot shower?
hot shower. It was something like this, where like your girlfriend's wanting to take a shower, and you keep bothering her in the bedroom, and she can't get to the shower or something like that. It was very similar. You're just having a conversation. You're going through a dialogue tree, but there were
Mm.
several games similar to this. Another one was that cat game, the S. Sterling Company, I think it was called. That one had a little bit more gameplay where you're moving the cat around, but it was still like somebody just worked at a company and they had cats physically in their company. So they're like, oh, let's base it on these cats we have running around the warehouse. And this kind of reminded me of that.
Cool.
Anyway, it's cute.
So,
It's worth playing.
so
Especially
we haven't
for
talked about what the company does, though,
mm,
We haven't.
and
No.
this is
The
really the
big
crux of the
reveal.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this company manufactures paper clips, and
Yes.
so some of the decisions and this leads back. This all ties back to Ryan's intro about RGB, um, because one of the decisions is adding RGB lighting capabilities to your paper clips.
Hmm.
cyclical resonance, baby. It's all coming back.
All pinball collectors are going to choose that option.
So
I
yeah,
like some of
that's
the. I hope I'm
yeah.
not ruining the game, but I'd like to mention some of my favorite options as well. One of the problems is that customers are complaining that paper clips are not durable enough. And so what should you do? And one of the options is to include more paper clips. Give them more faulty product. Did you have any favorites, Don?
Yeah, I mean, the one that comes to mind right away was the RGB one. Add RGB lights to them, and
Uh,
then add bodyguards to make sure the shipments
there
are
was
delivered on
one
time.
that
I don't want to spoil all of them because there's only it's only six.
yeah. There was one about a like a paperclip seminar or something like that. Anyway,
And the
you're right.
To
paperclip
teach
show.
people how to use them. Yeah.
There's a few great ones, and we should not spoil them all.
Um, well, it's a fun little game, and I would recommend giving it a quick playthrough. It is indeed very quick. Um,
Much like our
so
episode today.
It's like this is like the opposite of the Binding of Isaac. Like Mom from Binding of Isaac, the dad is the total opposite of Mom from that game. Dialogue tree and everything. So,
Listeners may not be able to see this, but we're smiling and nodding.
listeners will get it. Both listeners that have played this week.
All
Okay.
right. Well, do we have any wrap up thoughts about The Boss's Son? I don't know if we mentioned this, but it's is it free or pay what you want
It's free.
or
Yeah.
okay.
It's free. It was
totally,
down for a little bit
totally
while
free. Yeah.
we put it up, and then Chelman called out that there was an issue with the game, and so then it got taken down in the middle of our thing, which is fine. But the dev fixed it and put the page back up, so it's back up.
So our apologies for the inappropriate timing of our choice of this game, but glad to know it's back up there. Looks like 3 days ago it popped back up, so
Well,
that's
and
good.
he fixed the file for our listeners on the Discord, so thank you for that.
Oh, fantastic.
Mhm.
Posted on the
Very good.
Discord with the new splash page or whatever it's called, card.
There you go.
Yeah. So thank you.
Carding it up.
As
It's the
as far
cardinal
as
rule after all.
things I would like to see from this game if it were ever expanded, uh, I would love music or sound effects. I think that would be
Hmm.
kind of number one. Number two would be additional choices, and then number three would be kind of a conclusion more than a success or failure, but you know, a, a bit more. What happens with this threatening phone call?
Yeah,
You know,
the guy on the other
there's more
end.
to the story. Um, but the way that I've kind of helped myself understand the story is that really this is the intro to Super Corporate Tax Evader.
Oh, building on that universe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's
Okay,
all connected. The entire Playdate universe is connected.
gotcha.
After work, you go for a root beer. you're served by a root beer. You know, it all works
Ah,
together.
Then it's
Yeah.
right back to shredding documents.
you ride your
Mhm.
unicycle to
Right. Right.
yeah
Uh,
before mahjong
Hop on the
practice.
boat, go
Yeah,
fishing. Yep.
perfect.
Match
Right
portraits of
past the
family
art gallery.
members
Yeah.
and then shred them. All right. So, yeah, this is real fun, Nick. I'm glad you chose this one. I had a good time with it. Sounds like Dawn did too.
Yep.
Speaking of Dawn, Dawn is choosing a game next episode. Dawn, what do you have in store for us?
I'm picking a game that might look intimidating, but don't be intimidated.
Mm,
It's a game called Spilled Mushrooms by John Weechok, and it is currently $6 on catalog. It is a game, excuse me, I got hiccups all of a sudden. It's a game about spilled mushrooms, believe it or not. And you try to gather as many as possible before your delivery deadline. You go in through the forest, you're playing a small deck of critter cards, and you're strategically collecting mushrooms. The rounds
Hmm.
are very short. The rules are not super in depth, and it has a very, very good tutorial, as well as
huh.
daily modes and all kinds of other stuff. There is a free demo on itch, and there's a link to that in the on the catalog page if you want to try the demo first. But anyway, it's a very high quality game, gorgeous and addictive. So we're gonna check out Spilled Mushrooms.
This does look interesting and intimidating, so I'm glad you gave me that
It does look
anti-intimidation
intimidating.
lecture
I
before
downloaded it
downloading
and
this.
then sat on it for a while.
I feel like I would have done the same and waited until the day before our next recording. I'm glad you told me that this
Don't
is
wait
not
till last
scary.
minute. Don't wait
Okay.
till last minute, but it's not super intimidating either.
Okay. Cool. Fabulous title card, if nothing else, but the gifts look great too. So, yeah, time for us to get on this.
Yeah. All right.
Is
Cool.
it, would you consider this a score chaser? You said the rounds were super short. Is this something that I'm going to want to
Uh,
battle people on?
I mean, it does have daily leaderboards. I don't know about, I wouldn't call it a sport chaser.
Hmm.
You want to, you do unlock stuff as you go, but ultimately you're kind of beating your head against one day. You finish that day and then you work your way on to the next level, kind of one
Huh.
challenge at a time.
Hmm.
I don't think there's any kind of leaderboard in it or anything.
Okay. Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yep. All right, cool.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for our short episode today. Don't forget that you can find drained pinball music box trailers at the link in the show notes, but also you can email us helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com. We've got a Discord. Come join us there. We've got a podcast that you can find at playdatepodcast.com. We've got Blue Ski. We're Hello Playdate over there. We've got, are we still mentioning Instagram? We've got that at Hello Playdate. We have a YouTube. We're very excited about our new YouTube channel, which reproduces all these podcasts in YouTube ecosystem format. Let's see what else we got. I always feel like I'm missing something. I'll head down here to the old Bingo's tip line. Every once in a while, I try to entice you guys to give us a call. I would love to hear from you. It's been a little while. Bingo's tip line is 724 Bingo's 1. That's 724 246 4671. Give us a call. That's from our Mr. Bingo, Nick Baldridge. So if you leave him a message there, we might be able to guilt Dawn into editing you into our podcast. So give us a call, 724 Bingo's 1.
And
And
to whoever left the message asking if I would come repair their Sega Keymaster, if that was actually a Hello Playdate podcast message, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Thanks for listening. No, I meant thanks for listening and leaving a message.
that
Oh, well,
I,
yes.
I think I think we should cut the episode short after thanks for listening. That's as good of an outro as we're gonna get.